the man deliberately raised his son to be a complete failure, even planning to leave him all his wealth. Just as they were about to sign the inheritance documents, the assistant unexpectedly revealed a paternity test, announcing that the boy was actually his son. What they didn't know was that the man had already been aware, for years, that the boy wasn't his biological child. In fact, he had spent the last 20 years planning everything meticulously, all for the purpose of taking revenge on his wife, an assistant, for their betrayal. 20 years ago, the man had overheard a conversation revealing that the child his wife was carrying was actually the assistant's. They had even schemed to have this child inherit the man's company, but little did they know, the man was already in control of the situation. Since the birth of the son, the assistant had frequently come over, pretending to handle work matters, while secretly growing closer to the boy. The man didn't stop them. Instead, he encouraged the assistant to take his wife and child out on trips, allowing their relationship to deepen. The more the assistant and wife grew closer, the more the man turned a blind eye. Over the years, his son turned into a useless young man, spending his days lying at home playing video games. The assistant continued to visit frequently, even asking for money under the guise of starting a business. The man knew that overindulgence was the most effective way to ruin someone, and he didn't hesitate to comply. When the son's high school results came in, he failed miserably, not even getting into high school. His wife scolded him, saying he didn't deserve to inherit the family business. The son, however, was indifferent. The man, unbothered, suggested sending him abroad for further education, with plans to have him return and manage the company afterward. The wife and assistant were thrilled that their plan was nearing completion, secretly mocking the man for being so foolish. The man sent his son abroad, and soon after, the assistant stopped coming to the house. His wife, on the other hand, began dressing up every night and finding excuses to leave. The man knew exactly what was happening, but chose to remain silent. 5 years later, the son returned from abroad, and the man eagerly held a press conference to announce that he would pass on the company to his now educated son. Just as all the paperwork was being finalized, the assistant unexpectedly presented a paternity test and claimed that the son was his. The reporters quickly verified that the assistant and the son were indeed father and son. The wife, now smug, displayed a satisfied smile, while the man feigned shock. The crowd soon recognized the assistant as the same poor student the man had been helping for years, and anger spread through the room as they accused the assistant of being ungrateful. The wife, without any remorse, declared that she had spent her life trapped in a marriage, and was now only pursuing the life she wanted. The assistant shamelessly called it true love, and even dared to ask the crowd for their blessings. The crowd, however, wasn't fooled, seeing clearly that their intentions were to seize the man's wealth. Furious, the crowd began to demand that the man hire a lawyer to fight back. At that moment, the man calmed the crowd and turned to his son, asking for his thoughts. But what happened next left him completely disheartened. Although the son was grateful for his upbringing, he disdainfully rejected the man, stating that he was not his real father. The son then presented a divorce agreement, and insisted that the man sign it in front of everyone. Even more outrageously, the son offered the man a mere 500 yuan per month for living expenses. The crowd was in shock. Just moments ago, this son had inherited a fortune worth billions, and now he was reducing the man to a beggar's life. The crowd, furious, offered to help the man reclaim his wealth, but the man merely watched coldly from the side, his expression unreadable. As the wife continued to belittle others, the man immediately stepped in and agreed to their demands. He signed the divorce agreement, and the trio on stage continued to gloat, unaware that their happy ending was about to come to an abrupt halt. In the next moment, the man spoke calmly. "Since you've given me such a big surprise, I have a big gift for you in return."